All right, Shantala, good to see you as always. Hope you're having a good 2021 so far.
You as well, Eric.
Yeah, thanks for spending some time with us this afternoon. How do we help children make sense of the news? 2020, there was a lot of news. 2021, in just the first week or so, there's been a lot of news. How do we help kids make sense of it all?
Well, we start by asking open-ended questions about where they're at emotionally, what they've seen, what they've heard, and how they feel. And really just taking time to listen to them, hear them out, and from there, building on that and working with them. A lot of kids really aren't as exposed to some of this news as others. It does definitely depend on age. So we want to deal with this also based on age, development, level of exposure, just starting by having an open-ended conversation, asking them how they're doing, how they're feeling, what they're hearing. A lot of kids are back in classrooms now, so they are exposed to quite a bit of different opinions and thought processes. So really doing what I like to call a temperature check with our kids is very important.
Are there different ways to talk to the kids based on how old he or she is?
Well, there definitely are. When kids are older, they're going to have more opinions about this. I've never seen so many kids talk about politics or current events in my private practice any more than 2020 and now 2021. Kids do have opinions. They have thought processes. A lot of times it's based on what their parents say or what they've heard. And I think a lot of times parents don't realize how much they're listening. So one thing we can do is really helping them develop those critical thinking skills, is presenting different things to them and talking to them about how they feel, what their thoughts are, what their concerns are, what their anxieties are, instead of as much pushing our belief systems, helping them explore what they feel and what they're going through. Obviously what happened this week is unacceptable. There's no gray area with that. But there are a lot of different belief systems, political parties, groups of people that have different thoughts surrounding the entire situation in general. So helping them to see the bigger picture that, everyone comes from a different situation,
Right.
a different period or group or culture, and really exposing them to that, and that we can be tolerant and accepting. It doesn't mean we have to agree, but we can listen, we can ask questions, and we can not take it personally when someone else has an opposing viewpoint. We can actually learn from them. I think that's really important to teach our older kids.
Well, and you want to make sure the information they're getting is from accurate sources. I mean, we do that when we deliver the information here on Spectrum News 13. We make sure, and we have our own discussions behind the scenes. Did we get our information from accurate, reliable sources? And that can translate to parents and kids at home.
Absolutely. And that's what's concerning. I think a lot of parents aren't even aware that their kids have access to so many different sources. On YouTube, they say, oh, they only have YouTube Kids, but there are ads that pop up. There are different extremist groups out there that maybe it is reliable, maybe it isn't. So really sitting down with them and talking to them about, what we know to be true, and helping them to develop those critical thinking skills when they see something that maybe is questionable, to come to us and just say, okay, I don't understand this, instead of taking it as face value and being afraid or fearful that maybe it is true. I think it's really important that we teach them to come to us and really ask those questions. Question asking is such an important skill. Not taking things at face value, but trying to understand and learn. And during this time, I think more than ever, we really can teach our kids this, and it will help them as they grow into an adulthood and in their careers.
And is it important to teach kids to disagree? And is there a right way and a wrong way to disagree? Because if you're going to disagree, if I'm having a discussion with friends and we disagree, sometimes it can get heated. So you don't want it to get heated, but you want to be able to have that dialogue, that discussion.
Absolutely. Well, one thing is teaching them to feel those emotions. What are those emotions they have when they disagree? Are they feeling misunderstood? Are they feeling judged? Are they feeling anger or fear? Why do they feel the way they feel? And is it because of what the other person is saying or believing, or is it an internal thing that is coming from themselves. So trying to separate themselves from taking it personally and realizing that everyone had an opinion long before we were around, and that that is okay. Teaching them to ask questions, like I said earlier, teaching them to listen, make eye contact. And instead of using you statements, use I statements. If we feel a certain way or don't understand how a person is responding to us, respond as I feel this way when this is said, or I could you please clarify. So really teaching them those things is so important, because that's how they keep friends. We have a whole world full of people with different viewpoints, and just because they have a different viewpoint doesn't mean it's not
Right.
valid. Most kids have never, been exposed to a lot of other cultures or situations. So if we're able to do that as well, I think it's so valuable, because it teaches them to see outside the box and understand we all come from different life situations that would cause us to make
Right.
different decisions. And that is okay. Teaching them empathy is very important.
Always a good discussion with you, Shantala Boss, licensed mental health counselor. Thanks as always.
Thanks for having me.